Hello, everyone, and welcome back to AEC Today Reports. It's Thursday night, and we're so glad that you chose to tune in. We're really excited to talk to our guests in tonight's program. We have some pastors from the Delaware Valley area who have come together to form this wonderful collaborative project that we're going to tell you about. We're all going to benefit from it. And also, we're going to talk to another one of our youth, actually our youth correspondents will, and we'll find out what another young person is doing during COVID. We're talking about starting businesses here. And of course, we want to do our part to remind you to keep moving even during this time. And so we have our fitness expert, Faye, back to share some ideas with us. So stay tuned for all of that coming right up after this break.
Hello friends, Jackson M. Doggett Jr. here to remind you, be counted in the 2020 census. Make sure everyone in your church and in your sphere of influence is counted in the 2020 census. It will make a difference in your life.
All right, everyone, we're back. Thank you for staying tuned, and we're really excited. I shared with you on Tuesday evening's program that we have something very special coming up from some of our Delaware Valley churches, and we're here to talk about that right now. I want to invite some special guests here with me. These are three of our pastors within the Delaware Valley who are responsible for a special series that's coming up, and we have Pastor Shawn Fordham. Give us a wave. Pastor Orville Brissett, German, and Pastor, I always want to say, well, Nick Taliaferro. Thanks for joining us.
Call me anything, I'll answer.
All right, so tell us, what is this? Who came up with this bright idea? What is this that you all are planning for not just the Delaware Valley, but all of our AEC constituency to be a part of?
Two words, Shawn Fordham.
He's the one.
I second that.
Credit to. All right. So,
Shawn Fordham is the mitochondria of the Delaware Valley Ministerium. So.
All right.
Once I look up what that word means, I'll let you know if I agree with that or not.
All right. So, Pastor Fordham, tell us what inspired you to bring this to your colleagues and say we need to do this.
Well, I tell you, I think each of us individually, as well as some of the other pastors, we've had to figure out that church is more than just a roof and four walls, over the last, few months, because of this situation we're in. And so I think we were all working individually on evangelism ideas in our own spaces, in our own places. But when the Allegheny East Conference did their camp meeting, where we had some of our evangelism plans may have been on hold, or we were trying to figure out how we need to do them. You all did such a fantastic job of putting on camp meeting virtually. I mean, I have friends that are in other conferences, other states, and not that it's a competition, but they were remarking about what the quality was of the virtual camp meeting, from morning to evening to afternoon to the programs, that it made us think that, hey, this is possible. We don't have to stop spreading the word, because if this pandemic can spread a contagious disease, then we can spread the contagious word that God has given us to do.
All right.
And I think that's what we're trying to do.
Amen. I love it. And now the theme says a lot. Who wants to tell us what the theme is for this evangelistic series?
Brissett.
There it is.
Reset. It stands for something, I understand, right?
It does. It stands for renew, enhance, strengthen, extend, and transform. And really what we're talking about over the 4 weeks, is we've been provided an extraordinary opportunity in this day and time, this whole COVID pandemic. It has caused us to pull back and take a stock of our lives, take stock of our spiritual lives. What are our priorities? And so over the course of the evangelistic meetings, several of the messages, the majority of the messages, will be aimed at some particular word in that acronym. We are all in need of renewing relationship with Christ. And of course, there'll be others who may, for the first time, be extended the opportunity and respond to that opportunity to become part of the body of Christ. And, strengthen where we are, to be transformed by the power of the Holy Spirit. And so one of the, the timelines that we're agreeing on as ministers of the gospel, and as we're praying, our churches are praying, is that we're asking for God to enlarge our territory of not just more people, but committed disciples who, through this acronym, have found a new foundation for growing in grace and growing in the Lord.
Amen. I love that. And I understand it's for 4 weeks. Now, for 2 weeks, we have 2 churches collaborating. And then for the last 2 weeks, we have 2 churches collaborating. So for the 2nd through the 15th, I believe. Mm-hmm. Right. We have Evangelist Brissett, who will be speaking. And partnering with.
Yes. It's called Reset with Brissett.
I love it. And I'm looking at I've always loved when evangelists come up with the titles for their sermons during an evangelistic series. And so I see that you have coming up, there's no shame in my game.
Yes.
We got a blueprint for victory. When dipping leads to deliverance. All right. I mean, this sounds like it's going to be a pretty awesome series. And then the last 2 weeks, we have Evangelist Taliaferro.
It's the overseer.
Better be an overseer than an undertaker. I'll receive that.
You also have some very interesting subject titles. Who's your daddy? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking
That's a big question in a lot of churches these days.
A lot of churches. A pusher in paradise.
Yeah. I actually borrowed that from Melvin Hayden.
Okay.
I heard Melvin Hayden preach that sermon in 1976.
Wow.
And the title it is so provocative, You never know what you're going to meet, where you're going. Even when you think you're safe, you never know what you're going to meet.
Absolutely. Okay, so how can people join? Shawn, tell everyone, Pastor Fordham, tell everyone how they can be tuned in to this series.
Well, there's a few ways. First of all, the 2 churches that are partnering in each of the weeks, they all have their individual links, that folks are tuning into now for the live services that we're all doing from our individual churches now. And then the conference has a platform too. So what we wanted to do was to be able to take things people are already used to using, whether it's StreamYard or Zoom or GoToMeeting, Facebook Live, that they will be able to link on those things and then also be pushed out even to a broader audience through the conference media team and you all's willingness to just help and be that back support for us, that folks will be able to connect in so many different ways based on where they are. Now, the idea is that you take Orville Brissett's church, which had so many people linking to camp meeting through their platform. And I'm imagining that some of those folks now got used to getting on their platform, and that's how they're coming to, they can come to church now.
Right.
So we wanted to be able to expose our going on from this, that the same link they're getting on this is where now they can tune in to come to prayer meeting, or they can come to, our virtual services. So we wanted to make it flexible,
right,
folks to be able to come to.
Now, we keep talking about these churches, but we haven't really mentioned the names. What are the churches involved in this? People are watching this throughout the conference. They may not be familiar with the churches you pastor. Can you all share that with our viewers?
Well, the first 2 churches, I'll let them introduce themselves. And Shawn is involved in all 4 weeks. I mean, because Shawn has more energy than any two human beings could care to hold in one body.
Sean's not preaching either.
Well, that's true.
This is true.
But, let's bring up that point because, the spirit of prophecy says, but also the Bible says, let's look sola scriptura, only scripture. It says that many of us have different talents and different skills and different abilities, and we're all giving, even if we've got the same talent, we've been given it in different measures and different ways to administer it and operate it. So our two evangelists are two of the strongest speakers, not just in our conference, but across, I think, the nation. You're going to get two speakers that are just powerhouses in themselves. They're going to be bringing it every night. And some of the topics in the 2 weeks may be different. So the first 2 weeks is Mizpah on the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia and the Germantown church, which is in the Germantown section. But we have footprints that extend out. So they will be the host churches for the first 2 weeks. And then the second 2 weeks, it's the East Lansdowne Seventh-day Adventist Church and the West Church, which kind of have footprints that kind of neighbor each other, same as what Mizpah and Germantown do in some ways, and so to be able to have us hosting together and where they're getting the best that we have to give. And, Christ sometimes would tell the same point in two different types of parables, and you get the message. So if you didn't get it the first week, you're going to get it the second week. And, so
Right.
The two skill sets coming together, I think, is phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a powerhouse. I agree with your assessment of the two evangelists that we have speaking. We're looking forward to those messages. Now, just so everyone knows, if you're watching this is the same platform where you will be able to watch this series. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel, if you're watching via Facebook Live, this is where the series will be broadcasted at 7:30 nightly. Now, you guys didn't have any breaks. I noticed this is straight through.
Yeah, that's all Shawn Fordham,
Shawn Fordham,
taskmaster.
No Thursdays off. No.
No Thursday off. No.
If Shawn Fordham had been employed by Pharaoh, Moses would still be a slave. He would not have gotten away.
Look, I'm gonna tell you, my uncle used to be a concert promoter. His name was Harold Wright. He used to promote the Glen Wrights. And when they would have an intermission, he would be afraid of folks going home. And so I'm gonna say what he said. Folks, I've checked the TV guides, I've checked the cable listings. There's nothing decent on TV right now. Everything's in reruns. You've seen everything they got to show you. So tune in to Reset Your Life Conference and actually get a good word that will be both entertaining and uplifting.
All right, I'm going to actually cover us for a second. This is the first half, one of the flyers for this series, and you'll start seeing more of that on our website for you to be able to share. And that's another place where you can access it from our website. You can go and see this wonderful series. Now back to our evangelists. What can our viewers expect from you? What are you bringing? What are you bringing to this series that may be different than any other evangelistic series people have been a part of?
Well, first of all, we're in uncharted territory. This is totally virtual, right? So we are exercising all of the God-given authority and the creativity to take the message of Jesus Christ to places it probably would not have gone if we had to fly, if we flew or didn't fly or didn't get invited or whatever happened. But then we got some awesome musical guests that are going to be with us. I could name a few. I don't know if we're keeping them a surprise. I'm going to name a few. So we've got the Walls group will be with us.
Okay.
We've got some special renditions from, I believe Clifton Davis will be a part of the on the second half, on the second side, in the second 2 weeks. We've got Sherry Jackson. We've got Shawn Tillery and Change. We've got Lloyd Mallory and company. I mean, there's just, the list goes on and on. It's a long list of musical artists that will be with us, and you just never know what night they're going to be on. So you got to tune in right? every night. You got to tune in every night. I also want collaboration is really the way that we're going to survive going forward. You know, one of the things that Ellen White talks about in the book Evangelism is leaving no stone unturned when trying to reach people for Christ. And so oftentimes we think we have to do it by ourselves in our little neighborhood, where collaboration is really what's going to help us. It's not only does it work from a biblical model, the church grew that way, but for the person that needs some type of other counsel or encouragement, there's an old Chinese proverb that they used to say when I was in the Navy: many hands make light work. And so in this particular
you were in the old Chinese Navy?
It's an old Chinese philosopher. When I was in the Navy, this guy. So what's happening is many hands are coming together to lighten the load. Now Shawn is not preaching, but he does have just as much of a load as the rest of us.
He does.
Because the organization and the legwork that he's doing must be commended. Is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. And so it's bringing an iron sharpens iron. So what Pastor Taliaferro is good at, I get to learn. What Shawn is good at, I get to learn. And they both get to teach me, because I don't know anything. I'm just a guy that gets up and I have to say
disagree. Yes.
Oh, I love the gift of humility is a rare gift these days. And Brissett has been bathed in it, but trust me, Brissett is one of the most creative, innovative minds. In fact, I owe my current virtual service to Orville Brissett. He's the one who said how to do it, and so wow. and that's the good thing about this. This really does bring together a plethora of gifts. The music is going to be outstanding. I mean, that's first. The other thing, and this is something that you guys helped us to learn from camp meeting, is that it doesn't take all day for God to bless us. I mean, you can do things in an efficient way. I mean, the biggest baptism in the Bible took place in a sermon that's less than 15 minutes long. They stood up and all of a sudden 3,000 people got baptized. So we've learned efficiency. People will come on and the program will start at 7:00, and by 8:00 we're wrapping things up. Right. So it's not going to take all day to get great music, great interaction, a great word, and to bring people closer to the Christ that wants to save them. So
let's talk about the start times for a minute, because
sure,
it's the joint service that everybody will be viewing at the same time in the same place. It's 7:30, right? And what we did is we created an environment where it can be flexible to the identity or the needs of the church, right? So you take, for example, Germantown's service district and the folks that they're reaching out to, which would be social media and email blasts and all that kind of thing, and phones. So their folks are going to come on at 7:30 because that suits them. You take MISPA, they're going to start at 7:15 on their own platform, right? Mm-hmm. So the communications for them are 7:15. When West and ELC go together, we're actually starting at 7. And so local folks will be able to kind of interact and things like that. We're planning like a virtual baby blessing that will happen during that part time. But then when by the time we get to 7:30, we're on the link that everybody else is seeing, that everybody else is going. But if folks wanted to participate in those more local services geared for that local area, they will log on to that platform that they got. But anybody just coming in, no matter where they are, they can hit that 7:30 link, and they're on, and they're not going to miss a thing.
I'm really glad you guys are doing this, because you referenced camp meeting, and we did get a lot of positive feedback from it. People were asking us to do it, extend it. Can you do 1 more week, 2 more weeks? And we were kind of like, yeah. But we heard about this, we're like, perfect. They get a whole month of services that we can stream and support. So we actually appreciate you because the need is there. There's so many people who are dealing with different things, who are searching right now, trying to understand what's happening in the world. And so this series is coming at a time when people really need to hear these kinds of messages. So I applaud you all for coming together to put this series together. And I think it's going to be great. And so all of our viewers out there, make sure you're tuning in starting August 2nd, which is, wow, that's coming up. That's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, 7:30 nightly. So all through the month of August the 2nd through the 29th, tune in at 7:30 right here on our YouTube channel or our Facebook Live to get these wonderful messages. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Any final words, anything we left out that people need to know before we go?
Tasha, all I would say is for whoever is watching and is going to come on to any portion of the Reset Conference, please share with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, your Uncle Roscoe. No matter who it is, share. Let's get this this great message of Jesus Christ getting into places that we're unable to get. And one of the things that's really going to be special in this physical distancing format, and immediately after every night, we're going to have people who want to come into a virtual space, a smaller virtual space for about 10 minutes, where there'll be prayer for you. We'll be taking specific prayer requests. We'll be hearing about maybe your individual spiritual requests in terms of wanting to have a close walk with Jesus Christ or baptism, because we're not in the building where we would have those public stands. Mm-hmm. So we're offering a virtual space where we can connect with you in a more intimate level. So even though we're distancing physically, we're not distancing spiritually. And evangelism, really is all about what do we do after the meeting is over. Right.
Excellent.
Thank you for pointing out. That's wonderful. Well, once again, gentlemen, thank you for providing this opportunity, not just for your area, but for all of Allegheny East. Our friends, those all abroad, can watch this. And like you said, we encourage everyone to share this series with everyone. When you tune in nightly, 7:30, just go ahead and hit the share button as soon as it starts, because we guarantee it's going to be good. It's going to be great. Thank you once again for joining us and sharing a little bit about what we can expect.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. We'll be right back after this short break.
Hello, everyone. I am Jaren Jeffrey, the new principal of George E. Peters School, and I am so excited to join such a stellar school community. 2020 has been a strange year. We have experienced a pandemic, social and emotional unrest, and none of us has expected this. But I am so proud to say that George E. Peters led the way with excellence and consistency in our distance learning program for the last 5 months. As we start a new year, we will implement a more rigorous program to ensure our students continue to be the best students at the best school. George E. Peters Adventist School.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Hi everyone, welcome back to AEC TV. I'm Lauren and this is my brother Jake. We're from Community SDA Church in Englewood, New Jersey. And as you've probably seen in previous episodes, we are talking to the young people around the conference. And here today, we have Lanai John. Hi, Lanai.
Hi. Hey, Lanai. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. I am a 16-year-old rising senior at Tacoma Academy in Tacoma Park School. And I love to sing. I love to dance. And I love to interact with people. Like, I love to talk. I love to hang out with people. And yes, just your average teenage activities.
Awesome. So we heard about your hair business and we want to talk a little bit more about that. So how did you start it? What were your motives? What are some things that you want us to know about it?
Okay. Well, ever since I was younger, I've always wanted to experiment and try different styles and eventually work myself up to being able to do my own hair. So, after I got into about the 6th grade, I started to want to do my own hair, and that's when I started experimenting with learning how to do box braids and different styles like this. I just did this recently. So the older I got, when I got into high school, I started to do my hair. I used my mother as a example to show people some of the hairstyles that I did, and it was not really. A lot of people didn't know about it, but just recently, quarantine has motivated me to use these gifts and talents that I have and promote it and better the community. So I started a hair business just recently, I would say a couple weeks ago. And I've been getting clients, doing their hair. And it's a great experience for me because it's practice that I get in. And when I get to college, it'll be something that I will hopefully be able to maintain and grow and get better at. So.
Awesome. So I actually do my hair. I do my box braids sometimes. They don't look as good as yours, but there's something. So what are some tips you have out there for young girls or guys who do their hair?
Well, some tips I would have is just to go for it. Don't be nervous. Like, even if you might not think you do a good enough job, you do, because it's not an easy thing to do. I can definitely tell you that. When I first started, it was hard to like rip it on and start braiding and stuff like that. So it was something that you have to learn, and you have to work up to. And I've seen many videos of people who are first timers and then people who are experts at it. You have to put yourself in where you think you rank in the control from it, and also not discourage yourself. Because I've had those moments where how many people want to come to you with really, really good hairdressers? But as you once you learn that you're good enough, your work is good enough, then you'll be able to accomplish people don't know how to do it. And people.
Awesome. So
I have a question. So we're living through a pandemic right now, and we don't really like barbershops, hair salons aren't really closed. So how is COVID-19 like affected what you've done with your hair business? Like, do you have to wear masks when you go out to meet people to do their hair or anything like that?
Yes. So it's different. I have two different methods. Since it's just a small growing business, most of my clients that I do get are family friends and some of my own friends. So it's a little bit lenient when it comes to the travel and if they're to come to my house or if I were to go to their house. But as far as I do take the pandemic very seriously, and COVID-19 is still out there. People are still prone to getting sick, but you still have to get your job done. So I do wear a mask. They do wear a mask. And as a hairdresser, you are going to be close to your client, but there are still ways that you can still prevent yourself from receiving any type of sickness. You know what I'm saying? And yes, you're prone to getting it, but it's like you kind of have to take a chance in a way, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's it's a it's like a it's not a deal breaker for me. I love to help other people, and if someone's in need of getting their hair done, I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna help them in service. You know what I'm saying? So
awesome. So you said most of your clients are like family friends and some of your own friends. So it's good to have a good support system around you while you're starting a business like this, right? Talk a little bit more about that. How have they supported you in this?
So I do have an Instagram for my hair account business, and along the way, I do have a very tight circle of friends, and we do talk a lot. And there have been some moments where we might express our feelings and give critiques in terms of each other and because I have some other friends that have, showed their interest in doing a little bit of it, a little bit of their own business, and we'll give each other tips and tricks about how we can better each other in our own businesses. And as far as my friends, they have been a very, very good support system. They might, some of them might repost the posts that I post just to put it out there and let more people see it. They do encourage me. They do help me. I do remember when I was first creating it and I was making a price list, and I was talking to some of my friends about it, and they decided to help critique me, give me some tips and tricks. Like, you don't want to make them too high because, you are a younger person starting in the business and you do still want your clients to come to you. So don't make the prices too high, but, also don't make them too low because you're still trying to make money, you know what I'm saying? But they are a big help mentally for me, because I feel like if I didn't have them behind me, I just need that extra boost of confidence and reassurance. And my mother, especially, she's always encouraging me. She's always telling me, you're good enough. Especially when I was the person that said to myself, why would people want to come to me? Because I'm a kid, like I'm just now starting out. There's other people that are way better than me. They could easily go to them. And she's like, don't give up. You're doing great. People will love to come to you. They see your talent and they love to support you. So that's really helped me in terms of wanting and having a good support system.
Yeah, so you said you have an Instagram. Would you like to share it so like people around the conference can, support you and find more about you?
Okay,
yeah, I'll follow you right now.
My hair Instagram account is hairby.nai with 2 R's. So HAIRR by.nai.
Awesome. So thank you, Lanai, for joining us today. It's really nice to see that our youth around the conference are being productive during this pandemic, and it hasn't affected them totally negatively. If there are any other youth out there that want to get interviewed by Jake and I, please make sure to contact our director at lhewitt@aecsda.com, and we'll be back after the break. Thank you.
It's all of our responsibility to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. You can still use your outdoor spaces like yards and decks. It's also okay to go for a walk or exercise outside. Wear a cloth face covering, stay at least 6 feet away from other people, try not to touch any surfaces, and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
Welcome back, everyone. We're so glad you stayed after that break. And as promised, we are here to get you in the moving spirit. Again, it's been a few weeks since we talked about exercise and keeping healthy. And of course, as always, we're bringing back our fitness guru, Faye Gregory. How are you, Faye?
Very well, Latasha. It's great to be back with you all.
Yes, it's great. It's great. Of course, we're still in summer and the weather is nice. Yet COVID is still around us. So the question becomes, how safe is it to kind of be outdoors and doing activities during this time? Is it okay for us to still go out and engage in outdoor activities?
It is okay, Latasha and viewers. Even though in some areas there's been a spike, it can be safe with social distancing and the proper precautions, washing your hands, cleaning any equipment that you might be using, and wearing your mask as well.
Okay, great. So we don't have any excuses for not going out and getting some great sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the fun activities that you can suggest people do? I know people are a little leery about going to places where there are a lot of people congregated, but what are some fun activities families can do together or individuals to kind of enjoy outdoors?
Okay, hiking, bike riding, taking, walks on trails. There's wonderful apps out there, Latasha, where you can look up trails and go walking as a family in the mountains. And there's great social distancing there. There's lots of outdoor space. You can enjoy God's beautiful creation and be out in nature. So you don't have to go somewhere where it's really crowded. You can take walks in the park and just kind of keep yourself away from those crowds. You can take that precaution as a family. Families can go swimming together, out sailing. As I said, bike riding, miniature golf, playing golf together, tennis. You can play tennis and be social distance there. Yes. So all of those activities.
Those are some great ideas. I know my husband goes hiking with one of his friends like every Friday, and he seems to really enjoy it. So we're going to try to do it as a family very soon.
My family and I went hiking up in the Watchung Mountains this past Sunday.
Oh, okay.
It was really nice, very refreshing.
Okay, so I'm going to have to make that happen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, we kind of touched on this, but do the benefits of exercising outdoors outweigh the risk of, contracting COVID? Do you think it's worth putting yourself out there and getting outdoors and staying active and not, fearing that COVID may somehow find us while we're out there?
Yes, I do think it's important, and I think that we should get over that fear. We need vitamin D. We need fresh air for our lungs. Your body, really needs to. We need to work up a little sweat to perspire, to release harmful toxins that may be built up in your system. And to just, breathe and enjoy, as I said earlier, God's beautiful creation. It's just, nature is just so positive, just so wonderful and refreshing for us and therapeutic. Going or taking a ride or walk on the ocean is just very beautiful and tranquil, and enjoying God's beautiful nature.
All right.
So the benefits definitely outweigh, we don't want to keep thinking and be frightened and be fearful. I think we should be faithful and hopeful, prayerful, faithful and hopeful, and also careful.
Exactly. So, there are precautions that we can do. There are things we can, put in place, but the important thing is to keep moving.
Exactly.
We always appreciate that. Encouraging us to get our bodies going.
Yes, keep your bodies moving.
Yeah, so important, so important. Yeah. All right. Any other tips or last comments for us before we exit? Any exercises you want to recommend for us?
Yes, I'm going to demonstrate a wonderful form of exercise that you can do indoors or outdoors. And all you need is paper plates, something very inexpensive. And I'm quite sure we all have some plates at home, some paper plates that we've been using during this time that you can use for this. It's a lot of fun for the whole family.
Okay, great. So remember, everyone, you may have forgotten, but after this broadcast, you can watch that full workout from our website. Visit aec.org and get your paper plates ready. How many do they need per family member, Faye?
2 plates per family member.
Okay.
So we need 1 plate per leg, per foot.
Oh, okay.
So it's 2 plates per family member.
Sounds like some balancing going on.
And you can pick up a pack of 40 plates from the ShopRite or Dollar General, Dollar Tree, wherever you shop.
Okay.
You should be able to find paper plates. Very inexpensive equipment.
Yeah, and it sounds fun to do.
Yes. Okay.
All right, thanks, Faye. And don't forget to check out that workout, everyone, right after this one. Thanks for joining us as always. And we'll talk to you a little later.
Okay. Take care, viewers.
Take care. All right, guys, we'll be right back after this short break. right, everyone. Once again, we thank you for tuning in to AEC Today Reports. We thank our guests for being a part of the program. That crusade, you guys, the evangelistic series, it's going to be great. So make sure you're tuning in every night starting August the 2nd at 7:30 p.m. right here, YouTube channel or our Facebook page. Tune in. And because of that, AEC Today Reports will not be reporting during the month of August. But we have some other special things coming up from our youth that we will be sharing with you coming out on the weekend, Saturday evening. So stay tuned and look out for more information on that. We like to also invite you, remember, after this, check out the workout, visit aec.org and find that video, Faye's Fitness, and let's get moving, continuing to stay involved. And don't forget, continue to support our young people. We want to celebrate Lanai and that wonderful business that she started. And so if you have other young people that you think need to be part of some of the extra things that we're going to be doing, please let us know. We want to feature them as well at a later time. Anyway, as always, we thank you for watching. The more you watch, the more you know. We'll see you back here in September. But don't forget to check out the Evangelistic Crusade Reset. You gotta tune in. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care.